Today we're going to be taking a look at the 5th installment of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Today we're going to be talking about Dream Child, so let's get spooky. Greetings everyone, my name is Nightshade, this is The Night Shift, a home for all things spooky, and today we're looking at A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, released in 1989. Ooh, child. Yet again, another sequel that came out just a year after the film prior to it. Let me tell you, it shows. So this is one of those films that at the time whenever I was a kid, like I was in 4th or 5th grade watching this one, and I had a fine enough time with it, at least back then, but I do have some issues with it now. Also wanted to apologize real quick. This video was supposed to be out last Friday. That was not the case. Whenever I went to edit this review, there was a high-pitched, like, buzzing sound that was getting on my nerves, and I was not going to subject you guys to it. And that's been a frequent issue with this setup, and I found out what it was. Turns out that if my phone is not on airplane mode and it's too close to my preamp, then it's going to generate a buzz. So like the issues that I've been having with that little audio glitch is simply because I put my phone in the wrong place, which will not be an issue anymore, which, you know, now that I know that that's a thing, we can take care of that. Anywho, the first time that I saw this film was like back, I was in probably 5th grade, and it wasn't my favorite. Like I liked it fine enough, but it just didn't do a lot for me. Now here as an adult, it does even less for me, but it's still a fun one. It might even be the world's okayest Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm looking forward to talking about it, so let's go ahead and do just that. For this film, this one right here that we're talking about right now, I'm going to be breaking it down into 2 categories, the positives and the negatives. Let you know what I liked about this film and what I didn't like about this film. Then when we're done with that, I'm going to talk about my favorite scene in this film and let you know exactly why it is my favorite scene. And once that is complete, we will score this thing out of 10 and end the video. But here on The Night Shift, we always start things off on the bright side with yet again, like last Tuesday's video, the visuals in this are really good. The visuals in this one are absolutely stunning. In my opinion, they are the star of the show next to maybe the kills, but yeah, the visuals are stunning. We even get some like stop motion action in this one, and I love stop motion. But yeah, just a huge fan of stop animation, and we get a decent amount of that. Also, the lighting and atmosphere in this film is very prevalent. Again, the church sequences are really cinematic looking, and as well as the house. The asylum is really cool looking, and this film has an atmosphere about it, and that's all due to the visuals. So I think cinematography would also, you know, be welcomed in this because it is part of the visuals. And yeah, I'm just a huge fan of the way that this movie looks. Like, this is a good looking movie. It's not the best in the story department, but it's a good looking movie, so for that, I had to give it a positive. Moving right along into my next positive, we have... Although Freddy in this one is much more cartoonish than he was in the previous 2 films, he still gets a pass for me here. He was almost in the gray area. I almost opened up a gray area for just Freddy alone because, like, he starts to wear on your nerves in this one, at least for me. Like, he's almost too much in this film for my liking, but he just barely beat out. So yeah, like Robert Englund again gives it his all as the character, as Looney Tunes as he fucking is in this one. This would be one that I could put on randomly throughout the year and I'd be just fine with it. But if it was, you know, back to back with other ones, this Freddy gets on my nerves a little bit. Not so much as he does in the next film, but in this one, like, he just barely made it onto the positives list for me, and it's like it's close. It's close. But, you know, the makeup looks cool. I like that they made him more dark around the eyes. And he's a lot more matte in this one. Like in the other 2 films, he had a little bit more gloss to him, a little bit more polish to him. But in this one, he's a lot more matte, and the makeup's all right. It's not my favorite, but overall, he looks fine. He's fine. And you can't talk about Freddy Krueger without talking about our next positive, which is... injection!
what you eat. Told ya, comic books was bad for you.
So even though the MPAA was really gunning for Freddy and just slasher films in general, we still get some fun kills. Like, even though they're not a lot of kills, we still get some fun. The ones that we do get are still fun, and that's what I'm here for. Ghouls just want to have fun. That was lame. That was lame. I'm sorry. But yeah, the handful of kills that we got in this one were pretty cool and decently creative. You know, the motorcycle kill almost made it to my favorite scene of this film, but I'll reserve that for something else. But yeah, the handful of kills that we get in here are pretty cool, including Freddy himself. But unfortunately, that's just about going to do it for my positives on this one. So now we move on to the not so bright side of things with... pretty much everybody in this movie sucks, like more so than the previous film. I didn't like any of those characters, and I like these characters even less. Again, one-note characters, one personality trait, and that's all we really know of these characters, and it sucks. It's fucking annoying. Again, I've said it in previous reviews. I like to have a little bit of character development so that whenever our cannon fodder does eventually die, it has some sort of stakes, but with this one, that's simply not the case. Not to mention, you know, Freddy Jr. at the end there, like, ugh.
Let's go. I want to learn stuff from you. She's no fun anymore. Teach me?
Teach me? Huh? I fucking hate it. I genuinely do. And yeah, it's not my thing. Like, that was like the whole Freddy Jr. thing was gonna get its own negative chapter, but I put it all here in one little thing because why not? Fuck it. None of the characters really do anything for me in this film, and that is unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. So moving right along into my final negative, we have not a huge fan of the story in this one. You know, Alice is pregnant and Freddy comes back because the baby is dreaming. That's why Freddy's back, and then he's killing these people to feed the baby souls for reasons. I don't know. This one is one of the more contrived plots in the Nightmare series. It's not the worst. It is not the worst. That comes next. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the story of this one, and then, you know, the delving into how Freddy came to be. Again, I think the less you know about a character, like we knew all we needed to know. We didn't need any more backstory. We didn't need anything else. I was fine with that. We don't need to delve into Freddy's back lore. At least I'm not a fan, but, you know, some people probably love it, and, you know, for that, hey, shouts out. But for me personally, I didn't really need the backstory and the Amanda Kruger stuff. I just want to see Freddy do what Freddy does, and I don't need to know anything else about him. And you know, feeding the baby souls, that doesn't seem like it goes anywhere. Like, that's another issue, is like things start but don't ever seem to progress throughout this story, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, you know, the baby's dreaming and that's why Freddy's back. Okay, like, as silly as that is, I can deal with that, but then he's like feeding the baby souls, and like that little butthole, you know, large intestine tunnel is like the umbilical cord where he's feeding the baby souls, and then that plot line doesn't really go anywhere. Like, is he wanting to take care of the baby whenever, you know, he's born? I don't know. Is he wanting to possess the baby so he can be alive in the real world where he would be powerless? I don't know. It's not really stated. And if it is stated, I missed it. It's just, I don't know. The story of this one feels a lot weaker and more contrived than previous films. But it's not as bad. It's not the worst. So, you know, I'll give it that. Yeah, overall, like, the story and characters is really weak. So, and, you know, the story is the most important part of the film for me, and if the story's weak and the characters are also weak, then the overall film experience for me is just not going to be a positive one. So yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, it's far from my favorite. It's middle of the road because there are worse films in the franchise for sure, but it's lower middle for me. Yeah, that's all I can really say is just, you know, it doesn't do much for me, but it's not the worst. It is most definitely not the worst. All right, so now that the review portion is done, let's go ahead and move on to our next segment, which is... My favorite scene in this is the comic book kill because I'm a huge fan of comic books. I love that they went through like the gray palette. I don't know if they desaturated this scene and, you know, then just had inputted the color in post, or if they really made a set that was all black and gray like that, and then, you know, the Super Freddy situation, and then the way he killed dude by turning him into paper, slicing him, and you know, he bleeds out his color and then he just shreds him into shit. Very unique kill, very fun kill, and it's bloodless, so like they got away with being able to pull that off, which I think is a creative way. When, you know, the MPAA is coming after your shit, you got to find creative ways to fly under the radar with your kills and your violence, and I thought that this one was a good one. You know, I liked the comic book aspect of it. I liked the visual aspect of it, although I'm not terribly crazy about Super Freddy. Like, Super Freddy doesn't bother me enough for this to not be my favorite scene in the film. So, and he only makes a brief appearance, so, you know, I can forgive Super Freddy in this one just because the visual of this scene is fucking spectacular. So when it comes to A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, I'm gonna give this one a solid 5. That makes sense, right? Very middle of the road. This is one that I find to be a little bit forgettable. Like, whenever I was prepping to do this franchise, I was getting 5 and 4 mixed up. I thought all of the stuff that happened in 4 was actually in 5, and I was wrong. And then, you know, upon rewatch, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. That's this one. I remember now. But yeah, it's less memorable than most of the films in the franchise, which could be a good or bad thing depending on which movie you're talking about. And let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this movie? Is it one of your favorites? Is it middle of the road, or is it one that you absolutely hate? I love to hear your guys' inputs on these films as well, so sound off in the comments below. So that is just about going to do it for me. If you liked the video, let me know by leaving me a like. Comment down below what you want to see on the channel next. I will do my best to accommodate, I really will. And until next time, my name is Nightshade. This has been The Night Shift, and I will see you in the next video. Stay spooky, my friends.